時間今日は今日の夢だと分かってるだから何でもできそうな Dream 空に小さなあの子が飛び出せばそうここにタイムペイルメ羽が生えてふわり時計のくせに翼でアラベスクしてる夢の世界揺れたら机の上でみんながじっと見ていたよ誰が誰の居眠り笑ってたほらねいつものことだから窓はさっきのスース風映してるもう消えたタイムペイルメ今日は今日の夢見て笑ってただからなんだか楽しみな Dream 空に小さなあの子もあの人も仲良くね可愛かったねララライララライ
You. Secret 10:34 p.m. stream. Well, 10:40 p.m. stream. And 1:40 a.m. for me. That's correct. How's it going, Jamie? Probably won't be here for too long. But, after a long day's work, you know what a fella needs is a little bit of gaming. All I've been doing since I got off school has been grinding in Stardew Valley. Nice. How many hours have you been at it now? Remember it's healthy to game at least 5 hours a day. Minimum. Question is, when am I going to play? Six hours about to be 7? Heck yeah. Don't stop until your eyes fall out. No pun intended, damn. See, that one went over my head. I'm not locked in enough. I didn't see it. I'm so, I guess, consumed that now 6-7 has been normalized and I don't even see it anymore. Let's see. Should I play Borderlands? Maybe it's a little bit... Maybe Borderlands is a little hectic. I was playing this, crappy action RPG last night. May is already over. We're about to be halfway through the year already. I know, don't remind me. Enjoy your youth while you can, my friend. It's gonna go by faster and faster, let me tell you. Alright, maybe I'll play this weird game. Been a while since I played this weird game. People be wanting to go out, but wanting to go out by old age was just boring. When I turn 80, that's when I'm gonna eat a stick of dynamite in the retirement home. You know, I have a friend who said he wouldn't be mad if he got murdered by a serial killer, because that'd be like a interesting, rare way to go. And I see his point.
One thing makes another, and that a third. But the last destroys the first. Good journeys.
And I've not played this game in a long time. Oh no, wrong button. Brotato can't stop streaming for more than 24 hours. Hey. Listen. I can stop whenever I want to. But, you know, who doesn't drink a glass of wine after work before bed? Is that wrong to do? Oh, I didn't know it was wrong to have a little nightcap, a little glass of wine after work, put my feet up. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't know, I didn't know. I know. What can I say? I'm addicted to the high life. Got home, untied the tie, and gone on his desk. Yeah. Untied the tie and picked up the controller. Untie the tie and sit in my gamer chair. I'm surprisingly feeling like pretty good though, I'll say, despite it being a long day. I had a big nap between class and work. Class also ended like 30 minutes early. Class ended like 30 minutes early. The gig itself was awful. For the most part, it sucked. But the most notable thing that happened was I had the opportunity to talk to a girl and I didn't take it. And I'm kicking myself for it still. Like when I got there, you know, the guests weren't there yet. I was setting up, and one of the women staff there, who had been sort of like helping me a little bit and answering some questions. She was like, okay, I'm heading out now. If you have any questions, talk to her. And the her she was referring to was this other girl that was actually walking past through the room. And I looked at her, and I knew right then. I was like, oh. She's pretty. And I immediately felt awkward just by sight and her looking at me and her looking at her as she was walking through. And I felt really awkward. I was like, hi. She was like clearly busy, like in the middle of some other shit, walking through. And that was it at that point. At that point, that was it. And I was like, man, that other girl is probably just like, you know, regular old staff. She probably doesn't know what's going on anyways. But as the night was wrapping up, you know, I was in this stuffy, hot basement with a bunch of drunk people breaking my shit and spilling beers everywhere. The clock struck midnight, and I was like, oh god, they're not going to stop, are they? They're not going to go down without a fight. But then here comes that girl out of the corner of my eye. She opens like this closet, and the lights start fading on over top. And I was like, oh, thank God. And she says, last song. And at this point, I'm riding high off dopamine because I'm about to go home. And I'm alive and nothing has, like, gone terribly wrong. And so I felt finally, you know, in control again. So at this point, I had the confidence buff of getting to go home and having some sense of control. And I was no longer scared of her. So I leaned over and, you know, smiled and jokingly was like, hey, thank you for her telling them last song. And she laughed and then went away. And so as I was getting everything ready to go and load out, I was piling up my stuff by the front door of the bar. And she comes over and she says, she's like, did you park nearby? And I was like, can I pull my car up? And she said, yeah, of course. And I say, okay, about 10 minutes. And she says, no problem. And so, you know, I'm finishing up bringing everything by the door. I go get my car. I pull it up. And, I start loading everything out. And on my last trip back into the front door for my last 2 bags, I see her silhouette, like, in the door. And so I kind of am getting out of the way. And then she comes through the door with my 2 things. My 2 bags. I'm like, oh, thank you so much. And I take one, and she says, I can help with the other. I'm leaving anyways. And so it's at this moment that we're walking over to our car. Our car. We're married already. I'm walking over to my car. And I'm like, okay, stay cool. This is just a person. We're practically co-workers right now. And I'm like very consciously trying to stop thinking of her as a girl that I'm attracted to. And it's just some person. And, you know, as we're walking over there, I'm like, thanks for turning on the lights back then. And she was like, yeah, no problem. I was ready to go too. And, I can't remember exactly what the next words here were, but I said something, and I was like, yeah, it was crazy. And And she was like, it was hot down there, right? And I'm like, yeah, it was hot. And they're like stepping all over my shit and breaking my stuff. And at this point, she had handed the bag and she's just kind of like standing there. And I knew in this moment was the fork in the road. I could tell. And I could tell it would have been okay to continue making conversation. But I also knew that I was really tired and didn't really have anything to say that wouldn't have been like awkward to just wait, which maybe I should have just like taken some, you know, so I do have some things that I've thought about and that I'm going to pivot back to here in a second. So I am like, yeah, it's hot. They're like breaking my shit. And she's like, oh, you can make them pay for that, right? And I was like, this is cringe, but I was like, yeah, well, that's not all they'll be paying for. And then I close the trunk of my car and, you know, look at her, and then I fucking run. I'm like, okay, thank you. And then I go get in my car. I ran, dude. I had to make the calculation in my mind because, like, I think there's many factors here. There's multiple factors here to consider. These things that were influencing my calculation. But, yeah. I've not missed a single one of your streams since I started watching you. Hey, that's a real fan. Thanks, Jamie. Anyways, I'm sort of kicking myself, but, I think it was still a valuable lesson. Things I would have said? Well, I would have, I was considering that, and I was like, what do you say? I'm like, how long you been working here? It's like, this is, I think, part of one of my hang-ups was thinking that she just got off work and she wants to go home because she just said she was ready to go, you know? So that's, like, activating my I don't want to bother you thing. But that also just might be cope on my part of, like, looking for some sort of excuse for myself. What would I have said? I don't know. I think I had something. I did have something. Oh. I would have told her what I was thinking earlier in that day. Which was, you know, anytime I take these gigs, I always tell myself, never again. And then I take another one. And then I say yes to another one. And that type of sentiment, I think, would have been plenty for her to, you know, rebound with something. Yeah, if I would have had the confidence to continue just making a little bit more small talk, I probably would have said that. I probably would have said, you know, every time the day of one of these gigs comes, I am like, why did I agree to this? And then I say never again. And then I do it again. But, like, she was so, I think, like, had I, you know, been willing to put myself in a position where I'd be cringe or bothering her, if I'd been willing to put myself into that position, I think it would have been fine. Because the sorts of like body language, I guess, was there, and like the tone was there, and her willingness, like the way she was like looking and smiling, it was so obvious that she would have been okay with me making small talk, continuing to make small talk with her. But I don't know, I've got some sort of like issue that I need to work through. I think it's good, like I feel sort of fake or like insincere, because if I wasn't, I think I am worried that they know what I know. Because if I wasn't attracted to her, I would have handled it the exact same way that I handled it. Which is tends to be what I default to out of fear. You know? I just get out of the situation because I want to be out of the situation. Like, I want to go home. But, yeah, sometimes you gotta be, you gotta accept being cringe. Because, like, even just the way that I delivered the last attempt at, like, sarcasm before I left, she laughed at it, but it wasn't an awkward laugh, and it wasn't even funny what I said, which is how, you know, it's one of the clues. It's like one of the, like, surefire ways to know if a girl likes you or not is if you say something that's, like, not funny and they laugh. But I don't know. I think I've also, like, never had to learn. Like, now that I'm not on social media the way I used to be, and don't go out to shows, but especially the social media part, I've never had to, like, learn how to rizz up women in real life. In that type of situation. Because I could always just fall back on meeting women online, on social media, or on dating apps, which is what I always did. And if I was in that type of situation, I would just be like, I don't even want to deal with these anxious, these anxious feelings where I lack confidence. I'm just, like, not even going to bother, and I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing and meeting girls online where there's control. So, I mean, I'm sure, like anything, it requires practice. And I do think, like, now that I'm not really online on social media, I'm more open to it than I can't, like, I don't know, more open to it. But, yeah. Oh well. Looking back at it opens up so many possibilities. What do you mean? Yeah, I think big lesson to take for me is don't be in a rush. Like, especially in that type of situation where she's like carrying something to my van, like, and I say a dumb, sarcastic thing, I don't necessarily need to feel obligated to immediately continue. You know, it doesn't need to be my turn. And even if it is, it's okay for there to be a little bit of silence, because ultimately she had the control and the autonomy to say, okay, I see you, I'm leaving, you know? If she didn't want to continue talking, if she didn't want to continue talking, or I allow there to be an awkward moment of silence, let her walk away, you know, let her decide she's done, right? Start thinking that you could have said, oh yeah. The could have, would have, should have's. One could freeze time and choose the best dialogue option. Yeah, right. I wish I had the confidence, because talking to any other woman, any other girl, even if they can be pretty or like really attractive conventionally, but if I have like infinite confidence talking to people, like if I'm not like, whoa, you know, like if they don't hit my tastes, I have like infinite confidence. And that is when girls tend to like you the most, is when they sense that. Not that you don't like them, but that, like, when you're just plainly confident. And when there is that hesitation and nervousness, and because this is the other thing I think I realized is what it comes down to, is I'm not confident when talking to a girl that I like in that situation. And I realized that evidence for this is, like, when I really think about it, how often does a girl like that really come into, you know, real life contact with a fella like me? Probably not very often. Not to say I'm like one of a kind or anything, but there are things about me that are like not as typical. Like, cause she was like not a normie by any means. She was certainly a little bit alt. And yeah, I think I like don't like see my, I take it for granted. I take myself for granted, I think. And I forget that I do have some sort of, like, uniqueness. It's just the ability to see myself that way has been, you know, sucked out of me over years of being in the music scene and living online and feeling like there's a million of me. But in day-to-day life, you know, in day-to-day life, I probably would have been her type. So that's just one of the things that I'm considering. I really don't, yeah. I want to get over it though, like I want to get better. And I'm going to have to if I continue living this Sigma lifestyle of not using social media. It's also like, I guess, some sort of thing about like fear of not having control, I guess. But it's okay to allow them. It's actually possibly better for them to have the control, because then you don't have to worry about whether you're bothering them or not, because they could just like leave, you know? And when I say control, for example, like talking to someone online, you have a much higher degree of control over the situation. Or if you're on like a one-on-one date with someone where you know that they want to be there, or they agreed to be there, and the purpose of that date is to talk and get to know each other. Like that's a context where there's control, that you have a sense of control over. Yeah, it's hard having the capacity to like both have a natural interaction with someone and enough kind of like capacity for emotional intelligence to pick up when they're done talking to you. But, you know, let them make it obvious. It's fine. If they have to make it obvious to you, then it's fine. Just as long as you're like, I'm not, you know, have some confidence in my own self as a good person who is going to eventually see that they're making it obvious and say, okay, you know, that's cool. Yeah, I don't know. You've been focusing too much on the girls lately. You gotta stay gaming. You're right about that. It's, just a... Yeah. I mean, it feels like coincidental in a way. Maybe it's God telling me to adapt and evolve, and now's the time. What happened? I was using the bathroom. Oh, nothing. Yeah, I don't know. It's alright. Yeah, you know, experience points are experience points. Just low-key fumbled his future wife, yeah.
I needed that.
That is one thing I'm grateful for, like, getting older and realizing there's no such thing as a future wife. Meaning, like, there will always be another, for the most part, which... I think is mainly a helpful thing to remember when you're in a situation like this, where it's like, you know, I got a lot of shit going on, and realistically, you know, I am trying to learn this niche specific thing, and I want to go overseas and I think having, dating someone without that interest is going to hold me back from my true ambition, so it's fine. And also, like, there's just a lot of other things that would be really, just, really need to line up, so it's fine. I just want to get better at it. Like, not better at talking to, and not better at raising up women per se, but better at just not being nervous around pretty girls. It's annoying. I had a sore throat all day and I have no water. Whoa. You have no water? Are you dying?
I needed that.
Drinking water in front of the Thursday? Yeah. You jelly? Ran out of water this morning. Damn, what happened to your guys' water?
Locked.
Yeah, I have not played this in a while.
I used to play here with my brother before.
Good.
Uh-oh. Um... Definitely starting to get sleepy now that I fucking yapped all about all that stuff. This was gonna be a speed run stream. And probably still will be. I would just like to know where I'm supposed to go. Maybe get to the next campsite. Thankfully I don't work tomorrow except for I have therapy and a meeting. Oh great, boss fight.
I'm gonna crush you. I challenge you to the ritual. Just doing my job.
No, that was a terrible roll.
If you lose, I'll crush you. If you win, I'll still crush you.
Alright, Jamie. See you tomorrow.
Gak. Ha.
Excuse me.
Good for me, bad for you. Bad luck today. You win. Happens, I guess.
Watch out, Pseudo! It's a Pteryx!
Crush you.
Oh! Damn it. This game's hard. Glad you caught it so you don't ruin your streak. Yeah, my Seeker streams are ruthless. They filter everybody's streak. Ruined your 160 streak. Yeah, it happens. It's like you know, it's like when you make it to the boss in Dark Souls. But all right. I definitely am sleepy now, so glad I got an hour speed run in. Not bad. Glad you got to keep your streak. I don't know what's on the agenda tomorrow. If we'll do another Fandom Friday or... what? Alright. Well, thanks, Clover and Jamie. I'm gonna go to sleep now. Yeah, you too. I'll see you guys tomorrow.